Stampers, it's Judy Klock here at Stampin' with Crafty Klock, coming to you today for another little live demo, and I have one more celebration item to share with you. I have here the Friendly Hello bundle. This is when you spend $100 or more, and that's only good until Monday, February 28th. So you need to get your orders in. But you can get this Friendly Hello bundle. It comes with this beautiful Friendly Hello stamp set and this gorgeous, of course, double-sided designer series paper. We have Pool Party, we have Fresh Freesia, I think we have Pale Papaya and Granny Apple Green, Evergreen, Evening Evergreen. So there's some really beautiful colors in here that you can use, and we're going to use these tonight. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. So go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I love to know where everybody's watching from. Hi, we have Patricia in Indiana. I saw Linda from North Carolina was on. So hello everyone. I'm so happy that you're all here. Let's go ahead and see what we're going to work on tonight. We have here a very sort of a simple stamping card. I guess I added the die cut, so that's really not quite so simple, but it just showcases that beautiful designer series paper. And then we added a little something on the inside, because I do like to add a little something to the inside of my cards. And then we're going to get a little fancy with a fancy fold. All we did was cut this piece in half. So this is 2 3/4, and this piece is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4, and we just kind of cut it and turned it. And then we've got a cute little birthday card there. I got a lot of birthdays coming up in March, so I need a lot of birthday cards. So let's go ahead and get started. And if you are not on my mailing list, you definitely want to be on my mailing list, because I sometimes hand out free tutorials, and I also let you know all the events that are coming up. So I'm going to start with the base of Pool Party. It's 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 4 1/4. I have a piece of basic white for the inside. That is 4 by 5 1/4. And on the inside, I just want to add the pretty little bird and flower image. I just like having a little something on my inside. I just think it makes the card really interesting. So I always like to say stamp, then stick, because paper has 2 sides. I know you do. I like to add a little something to the envelopes too. And I sometimes do when I go to mail them out, but I usually don't add them on these videos. But yes, always decorate your envelopes, because that makes the mailman smile too. All right, so we've got that. I'm leaving this blank on the inside, so you can change it up and you can use it for whatever occasion you want. I'm going to go ahead and add this now to the inside of my card, if I can find what I just did with my Stampin' Seal. I literally just had it, and now it's has developed legs and it has walked off my desk. Who else has that problem where things that you have 1 minute just get up and walk away without you even knowing that they've left? All right, so we've got that. Now for the outside, I've got a layer of Fresh Freesia that is 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to put a piece of our designer series paper over that. That is 5 by 3 3/4. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, trying to make sure to stay in the camera so y'all can see what I'm doing. Hey Maureen, how are you today? I hope everybody's having a good week. If you were working, it was a nice short week. If you had Monday off, that's always a bonus. All right, then I'm going to add a piece of our sheer Pool Party ribbon. I love this ribbon. It is one of my favorite ribbons. I believe it's in the annual catalog. And I'm just going to kind of just lay it around. I put a little adhesive on the back, and I'm just going to lay the ribbon down along the bottom, sort of close, maybe about 1 inch up from the bottom, and then I'm going to trim it. Okay, now I'm ready to lay it onto my card. I find it just makes it easier if I do this and stick it before I tie on that little knot. It just kind of anchors the card base there, the card layers there onto the base, and it just makes it easier. And I'm going to cut, I don't know, anywhere from 4 to 5 inches, and I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to tie it in a knot around the ribbon that's on here. I like this technique. It's pretty, it's quick. You don't have to worry about getting a perfect bow. Just a pretty little knot. I like to trim up the ends. And there we have that. I cut a piece of our fresh freesia. These are our layering circle dies, and I have here a piece of another piece of basic white with a layering circle. Now, if you don't have the layering circle dies, you can certainly just cut these into a square or rectangular shape. It doesn't really matter. Using your trimmer, your paper trimmer, is probably more of a beginner technique than what I did here. So, oh, thank you, Maureen. You're very sweet. And I'm using just the Pool Party ink. I'm really keeping in the same colors as the card. And I'm just going to stamp this. It's a tight fit, but we're going to make it fit. All right. So now we can go ahead and we can add this. Maybe, if I can grab it, we can add this to our fresh freesia layer. And then I'm going to close up my ink pad first. That's what I'm going to do first. Then I am going to pop a couple of dimensionals on the back of here. Ooh, running out of dimensionals. Got to use the edge pieces in a minute. Okay. All right, and then we're going to put this here. Now, if you really wanted to add a little bit more, you could certainly go ahead and add a couple of these iridescent rhinestones. That will just give it just a little bit more sparkle. And I'm actually going to place these so that they kind of become the center of the flowers. How's that? There's 3 different sizes, and I can put one in the center of each of my flowers. I've got 3 different size flowers, and that just gives it another extra little level of bling. So quick, easy, simple. All right, let's go on to our second card. I feel like I'm rushing tonight. I don't know why, but I just feel like I'm rushing. I hope I'm not rushing. All right, for our second card, I took a piece of our basic black and I cut it to 4 1/4 by 11. Then I cut 2 3/4 inches off. Doesn't really matter which side you do it from, because then I scored it at 5 1/2. So it's just, this will now become the front of the card, and that piece is going to lay kind of perpendicular, or not perpendicular, like at a 90-degree angle to this piece. All right, but let's go ahead, and I want to do my center first. So for this one, I'm going to use our fresh freesia ink, and I'm going to stamp the happy birthday on the inside. Again, I have so many birthdays coming up between March and April. I think March, April, and June are the busiest months in my family for birthdays. Okay. So now we've got, hope you have the best birthday. And I'm just going to stamp, there's this pretty little, it's like a flower with a leaf, and I'm just going to stamp that in the corner. Again, just to add a little bit of interest. Now you could color that, you could add Wink of Stella to that. You could do whatever you wanted to do right there. I'm just going to leave that just like that. And I am ready to go ahead and add this to the inside of my card. Now I'm not really worried about that showing, because don't forget, we're going to put this piece over it, so that will hide any words that are on the inside. Now I have here, I cut 2 pieces of our fresh freesia that are 4 inches by 2 1/2 inches. And we're going to layer those up there. And then I have a piece of our designer series paper, again, 2 pieces that are 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. So we're just going to go ahead and take a minute and just layer up all of these pieces. So just bear with me. This is just going to take a minute, because this is going to look really pretty when we're done. And that is out. And I know I had a full one over here because I just filled it and brought it over. And now I literally do not know where it went. Well, when all else fails, we'll go to our trusty liquid glue, because that is handy and right here. That's going to drive me crazy if I can't figure out where I put that other adhesive. Okay, so we've got that. I'm just going to do the same thing over here. I'm just going to, I don't know why. I thought maybe I didn't press this with the bone folder, but we'll give that a good press. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and layer these up here. I'm going to put this down here. Now here's a tip that I like whenever I'm sending out a card that has dark cardstock as the base, like this one with the black. I always cut a piece of like printer paper and I put it in here. I cut it to like 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I just slide it in there because what I found is when these go through the postal system, some of the color from the black cardstock rubs off on this inside. So if you want to keep the inside nice, just stick a cut piece of like printer paper. You know, I just take like a regular 8 1/2 by 11 sheet and cut it into quarters. And then I just stick that right on inside to kind of protect my card when I go to mail it out. You don't have to. It's just something that I like to do because I hate it when you get this really pretty card, then you open up and it's all black. So any dark color cardstock like black, the navy blue, anything that's really dark, I like to put that little, what I call my protective sheet in there. So I can keep that nice. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add some dimensionals here, and I'm down to using the edge pieces, but that's okay. Edge pieces work just as well as our regular dimensional, so don't throw the edge pieces out. Look, there's one more little dimensional right there. We got one tiny one. Oh, I'm glad you like that tip, Franny. I learned that one the hard way. So, you know, as they say, live and learn. But I figure I have printer paper is relatively inexpensive. So to me, it's worth it to protect the beauty of my card as I mail it. It's usually when you have like a lighter color cardstock, it's okay, but it's definitely the darker ones. It's always worth it to put that there. Okay, now you'll notice I'm going to match up the two edges. So my edges will be even. So when you put your dimensionals on, don't put them too far towards the center. And you see, I think I did. I put this over too far. Oh, see? I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so we're going to have to fix that, but that's what I was trying to warn you not to do. So don't do what I just did. That would be bad. Okay, but I'll put another piece in there in a minute. I'll fix it before I send it out. Then I have just a little piece of basic white. This is 2 by 3 1/4. And onto this piece, I'm going to stamp what I'm calling like the double floral image from that stamp set. And I'm going to stamp this in Memento because we're going to color this with our Stampin' blends. Now I did the pale papaya on my sample card, and after I did it, I didn't like it. Of course, isn't that always the way? So I'm just going to keep this in the same color, and I'm going to color these in Fresh Freesia. I colored the center, excuse me, with the dark Mango Melody. Okay, and then, oh, let me get a little bit more there. And then I took the light Fresh Freesia, and I just really quickly colored all of my flowers. Let me get rid of this thing. I don't really need that to color. So we'll see if I like this one better, because I wasn't really feeling the pale papaya. I thought I would, but I don't know. I didn't really like the way it looked with all the Fresh Freesia. So changing up, doing something different. Okay, and I like to use the brush tip when I'm coloring like large areas. I just think it goes a little bit quicker, and maybe it doesn't, but to me it seems like it does. I probably am just rambling now and you're wondering, oh good heavens, what is she talking about? I'm just coloring. I find coloring somewhat soothing. Anybody else find coloring soothing? Not fussy cutting. I know some people really like to fussy cut, not me. So if you know that if I'm fussy cutting, it's usually against my will. because I just find it, I don't know, tedious. I always feel like it looks like a 5-year-old did it when I do it. Some people are really good at it. I am not one of those people. We all have different skill sets. Fussy cutting is not in my skill set. Now, if I have a lot that I want to cut and I don't have dies for them, even if I do have the Brother Scan and Cut, which is wonderful. I call that my cheating cutting system. So when the Crafty Foxes were over here on Monday for our little team gathering, I took out the Scan and Cut and showed them how to use it. So Natalie has now decided that she needs one, and we wholeheartedly agree with her. So if you think you need one, we can give you lots of reasons to justify your purchase. Just let us know. We're happy to help you spend your money. You don't have the patience for fussy cutting either. I know, me neither, Fran. I mean, I'll do it. Don't get me wrong. I'll do it if I need to, but I think I'd almost rather have a root canal than do fussy cutting. All right, so I've got my flowers all colored in. Now I'm just going to come back with the dark fresh freesia. I'm just going to kind of highlight like those little black lines in there just to add a little bit. I think that adds a little bit of depth. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Humor me. Tell me that it does add a little bit of depth to the flower. Right? I just like the way that looks. I just think it gives it a little bit more, I don't know, color, whatever. Okay. So that's it. Now I'm going to stamp. I have the little leaf stamp from the set, and I'm going to stamp that in my Granny Apple Green, which I have also now just lost. Tell me how this is possible. I literally put this stuff out off to the side. There it is. I'm like, where did that go now? And I cleaned up my room, so I can't even blame my desk being messy because it's clean. So I don't know what my problem is. All right, there we go. I tried on the other one, I tried the Evening Evergreen, and it was too dark. So I just decided to go with the Granny Apple Green. I think that looks a little bit better than the Evening Evergreen. I'll bring the other one back in to show you so you can see the difference. All right, again, I'm going to add this to that middle piece. All right, we're not quite done yet. We've still got a couple of more things to do here. Let's close up our glue. I am going to take my Wink of Stella, but I'm going to make sure that I kind of get started on a piece of scrap paper. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of just brush it over my petals of my flower. I really just love how it just adds just the perfect amount of shimmer to a card. Right? Who else is in love with Wink of Stella? I think they're perfect. Okay. All right. That's that. And oh, see? Got a little too much of a blob there. I should have left well enough alone. All right, I'm going to come back. I'm going to add some of these, again, Iridescent Rhinestones. These are in the January to June mini catalog. I think they're so, so, so pretty. Again, they seem to pick up whatever color is in the paper that they go on, which I think is just fabulous. There we go. That's it. Let me show you the early one. I definitely like this one better. This was my sample card. I'm not really feeling the Pale Papaya or the Evening Evergreen. So I think by switching it up, I think that made it a little bit more cohesive and more, just makes it a little bit nicer. I can maybe go ahead and add some ribbon or something later. And then again, here is our first card that we made. So those were our 2 cards for tonight. Again, this is called the Friendly Hello stamp set. It is only going to be around until Monday, February 28th. It is yours free with a $100 purchase. You get the stamp set and you get that designer series paper. Thank you, Linda. That's it for this edition of Stampin' with Crafty Klock. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are watching on replay, please go ahead and let me know that you're watching on replay and where you're tuning in from. Have a great evening, have a great weekend, and I'll see you next Tuesday for my Live at Lunch. Bye, everyone.